Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Doordash Revolution, Take It to the Streets live show. You have your boy here, the Doordash Revolution, and Hulk Smash, known as George John. We give greetings to everybody out there today. We don't want you to turn off the set yet because right now George is going to give us a weather report of the events that's happening in the surrounding areas. George, you can go ahead and do that now, my brother.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, my name is George John. I'll go by Hulk Smash. Yes, I've been following, Miss Francine. She's another one that's coming to hit our coast again, the United States. Right now, she's a tropical storm, but she's going to be brewing into a, it's U solo. She's going to be brewing into a category 1, but I have this tuned up from the Weather Channel, the latest one. So I'm gonna give y'all, from the Weather Channel, and the meteorologist is gonna explain stuff from there. But I'm gonna keep updating this stuff. I'm gonna keep an eye on it because we have our fellow drivers in these areas that's gonna be affected. Just like we had with Miss Debbie last month, we had drivers affected in those areas too. We're going to have drivers affected in these areas. So let's all say a prayer for them. If you know what drivers in these areas after the show, please reach out to them, what you can to see how they are. Try to keep in touch with them and stuff like that. And the drivers who are in these areas, I know you don't have to explain anything, but, if there's somehow you could peep in, maybe not during the storm, might not be wise, maybe, depends on what's going on, but after the storm, just peeping, just to say, hey, I'm good, I'm alive or whatever. They have to go into too much detail, so then we could just be at ease because we are a family here. This gay community is a family. I feel it's a family, even though we don't actually. Some of us met each other, some of us got numbers and stuff like that to contact after the shows and stuff like that. But a lot of us just know us on YouTube. But we've grown as a community, as a family. So, when one person or somebody gets hurt or something, possibly with the Mother Nature storms, we can't really combat that. We just have to try to survive and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go into this real quick. It shouldn't be too long, and then we're gonna go start the show. What we're gonna do. Okay, let me turn my camera there. Let's see. All right.
Francine continuing to move to the north-northeast towards the Louisiana coastline. It's likely going to be a hurricane at landfall. That's why we do have hurricane warnings posted for a good portion of the Louisiana coastline. Here's what you need to know. As far as the timing goes, the timing of landfall should be sometime late Wednesday afternoon or into Wednesday evening as a Category 1 hurricane. But there's still some movement there in the numbers. That's going to continue moving north and make its way through the Mississippi River Valley. Winds will be a concern along the coast, as well as surge and flooding. Let's start with the surge here. As much as 5 to 10 feet of surge could be possible. Vermilion Bay points to the east. On the eastern side of the storm could see as much as 4 to 7 feet of surge. Even in Lake Pontchartrain, 3 to 5 feet of surge could be possible on the northwest side. As much as a foot of rain could fall along the coastline, but that swath of heavy rain continues across New Orleans, even up into a good portion of Mississippi.
All right.
You, the delivery man.
Okay. All right, there's the update. right there. There's the update right there. So I don't know why it's not letting me. Yeah.
That's all good. That's all good, brother. That's all good.
No, I got it. I got it. So now I'm good. I'm good to go. Okay. Yeah. That was an update, everybody. I'll be checking the weather channel frequently and stuff. I'll try to go to channels and post stuff inside their chats if they don't mind me doing that to keep you guys update. I'll just post a link to the weather channel, and then that way y'all can just do that. But I will ask permission before that. I know some channels don't mind. Cause I asked them already, they don't mind, but other channels might not want that. So I will ask them first, just so then people can get aware, because this is something that we should all be aware of, because there could be lives at stake. Things can happen. Cat 1. I don't really know. I don't really understand. The different winds and all that stuff. How far? So I don't know. I'm not. I was just, but I could Google it and find out. But the meteorologists will explain all that stuff as we look. So I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on with that. Some people probably wasn't aware there was a tropical storm or missing and going to be into a hurricane by landfall tomorrow. So, okay, brother, that's all about the news.
Appreciate it so much. You've done a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure that if you're in those surrounding areas, stay glued to the tube. What that means is you want to pay attention to what's going on up with your update and latest news information, and be sure that you be prepared to take cover and take precautionary safety measures during storms like these here. A lot of people be trying to ride the storms out. I notice in our community sometimes people make fun of certain areas that have this. No, let's not make fun. Let's come together in prayer. All right, in prayer for people that have these storms in their areas where others may not have them, because catastrophe can happen to any of us at any given time. So as a community, we hear, and we're going to abide by those things, and look out for each other, stay in touch with each other, relatives and everything, and let everybody know that you're all right. We appreciate that so much. And as for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the Doordash Smart Scale, the future of fast food delivery. The era of shrinkflation in the digital age has changed the economy of 2024. After the pandemic era, the rise of inflation in the food industry has affected the consumer's pocketbooks. I shall impose these following questions for your review, which will be also in the live chat. Will this alleviate the customer's complaints about missing items, stolen food, and portion size from their orders? Will this eliminate shrinkflations from restaurants? Will all restaurants utilize a scale for weighing online orders? Well, George, here known as Hulk Smash, he promised everyone that he was going to check in depth and give us an update from the last video of the information that he was bringing about this smart scale at Wendy's. So, George, the floor is yours.
All right. Solo. Thank you. All right, here's the thumbnail. This is the restaurant that I was talking about, Wendy's. This is the one I went to that day, and you see that he has right by my big head there. He has that screenshot of the instructions that Doordash gives you when you hit arrival at restaurant, or however it says. The next screen, that's what came up. So he put that in there just to be a reminder so everybody could, remember from the last one. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the update. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't know if everybody can see that, but there's the smart scale. It consists of a scale and a tablet. Okay. So now what you see there is there's no orders and stuff. Okay, this is how this works. First of all, before I even start, this restaurant is actually partnered with DoorDash. So having a partnership with another company, they had an agreement to do certain things to help each other out. That's basically what a partnership is. We said it last time, we probably didn't explain it. So they agreed to have a partnership to do certain things to help each other out. So when the Chipotle thing happened in May about skipping of the food, how much food rations and stuff you get, on your plate and things like that from TikTok, DoorDash found out about it. So what they did with this store, Wendy's, which is a partnership with DoorDash, they gave the partnerships these scales and a tablet that attached to it. Now with this tablet, I'm gonna go into the tablet. When you get an order, just like you see the order on your phone, they see the order first, just like they would. And then what happens is they accept that they got the order. The next screen for what they'll do, it'll say, okay, whatever Wendy's have like a number one meal. They will already have in the scale and stuff how much or how what is it? I'm trying to say how much it will weigh, basically, on the scale, you know. So what they will do is, according to the scale, it'll tell them the weight on the scale. So what they'll do is they'll make the order. Okay, when I mean make the order, they won't weigh the order not made, like non-cooked. They will make the order, cook it first, then they'll package it up. Everything that's got to be with that order got to be packaged up in the bag, because the bag's gonna be included on the scale. So once all the bags for that order is included, because they might have multiple bags that all got to be on the scale. Once it goes on the scale, it'll see the weight. Now, if the weight is on, I don't know. I'm gonna just throw a weight out there, so don't quote me. Like 5 pounds. I'm just throwing a number out there. Might not be 5 pounds, but I'm just throwing a number out there so everybody can understand. If it's supposed to say 5 pounds, right, and it's 4.5 pounds, it's gonna ding twice. What I mean by that, they said when it dings twice, that means something is wrong. They will have to figure out what's wrong and fix it to get it to 5 pounds. If it was at 5 pounds, it'll ding once. That means it's good. Then they can actually close the bag up and everything. So let's go back to if it dings twice. Okay, they ding twice. Okay, a number one, usually with fries or something like that. They'll probably, before they close the bag, they'll probably go and grab some more fries and put it in to get it up to 5 pounds. Once they can get it to 5 pounds, it should ding once, and then it'll be green. It'll be green. A green arrow will come up as well. So once they do that, then they could close the bag up and everything like that, and then put it to the side. Now, what we do is, as delivery drivers, if you come to this restaurant or restaurants like this, when you hit arrival at the restaurant, the next thing you should see is that feature that was coming up saying about, make sure they weigh. Make sure they weigh the thing. So when you get there, you want to ask that. Now, depends on how the restaurant is, could be busy and stuff. I would recommend you not, go off that screen yet till you go there. Go inside and talk to somebody, because they might forget to weigh it in front of you. And then they might ask you. The reason why I'm saying this is something coming up later on. I'm going to tell you why. They might ask you to look at your phone and say, okay, but weigh it or not in front of you. Okay, there's a reason why I said that way. Okay. Now, also with the scale, if you have multiple orders, it'll do each order. It has the name of each order. You will also show them the order so they know which bag is yours. So they could grab the bag and put it on the scale and weigh it. All right. They'll weigh it in front of you. Now the bag's already closed because they already weighed it. So they weigh it in front of you because they have to show you that it's weighed. It is per instructions from corporate and with DoorDash. So they have to do that. Okay. They also was telling me that since they have the scale, they have to weigh every single order that comes through that tablet. They have to weigh it. The reason why they're doing that is because of what happened with the Pote. And DoorDash and corporate wants to make sure that it's being weighed properly. You know, that also will show them that you are actually getting the proper food, drinks, condiments, and all that stuff. All that stuff got to be in the bag. Everything's got to be in the bag or bags before they weigh it. So all that stuff, napkins, all that stuff, utensils, everything. That's all got to be in those bags before they weigh it. So then that way, when they seal the bag and they weigh it in front of you and give you the bag, it covers their butt because they got the right portion. Also, they can't say that the restaurant was missing something. A lot of times the restaurants miss stuff. They forget a drink in the bag, but you can't tell because the bag is sealed. So you can't tell if there's a drink in there or not because it's a bag you can't see through unless you're Superman or have some kind of X-ray vision or something. You know. So other than that, you know, that scale is going to help you out too. Now, if you're an honest thief, when I mean honest thief, you ain't going to steal. You ain't going to open up the bag and try to steal stuff. So if you're honest, you would take the food that they gave you because it's verified that it's in there, and you'll hand it to the customer when you deliver it. So when that customer opens the bag, everything's in the bag that the customer ordered because the restaurant rated. So that ensures for the driver as well. Like I said, if you're an honest thief, that means you ain't gonna steal anything. That'll cover you from that being said that you have stolen something out of the bag because first of all, the bag is sealed, so you can't, and you didn't open it, so they can't really say that. They would probably anyway because everybody's gonna do something, but it could come back that okay, DoorDash knows that that bag was sealed and everything and things like that. They should do an investigation, which I'm gonna go look into a little bit to see, because everybody's gonna try to scam something. So there's always a loophole and everything. Even the little simplest thing, somebody find a loophole in it. But if everything go right, that'll help with those drivers not getting called out on stealing the food or things like that too, saying that we took stuff out of the bag, which we didn't do nothing. And also the restaurant. Now the scale, people was worried about the scale. The scale and this tablet is only for the restaurant. We don't have nothing to do with that. The restaurant is the one that's going to have to do the scale and the tablet. They're the ones that's going to have to report to DoorDash and corporate or Wendy's. We don't do that, so they're not going to give us that. We don't need to know. It's not going to go on our phone to say, okay, this is how much it's supposed to weigh. Not like that. So now when you're in a drive-through line, okay, this scale is over here. I'm going to show another page. Hold on, let me do it. I'll show you an out page. Okay, let me see. All right. All right. There's a bag on there on the scale. And this Wendy, that's exactly where the scale is going to stay at. They're not going to move the scale. They're going to keep it right there. When you go to the drive-thrus after hours, when the lobby's closed and the thing's open, you can ask them to wait. They're gonna wait. You just have to just take their word for it. That is wait. You can't see it unless somehow you can see it. Some of the drive-thrus, depends on how you sit in your car and how they got it, you might not see the scale. So you just gotta take the word. Just like you gotta take the word that everything's in the bag. Unfortunately, we can't do anything else. There's no way that we can really prove that the weight's the same or anything because we don't have to worry about the scale or anything like that. So on that. Okay, now the reason why I was saying about keeping that instructions up on the thing. This right here was not my order. Okay, this was another DoorDash order in my market. Okay, this DoorDash driver was coming for this bag. This bag was not weighed. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. They told me it wasn't weighed. This DoorDash driver, I had to go back. I went back because I forgot a question I needed them to ask, which they answered. That's why I went back yesterday. This DoorDash driver was in there, and I was talking to one of the shift leads, one of the good PR friend of mine that I talk with. They all have to get training on this tablet and stuff too, so they know it as well. The first one was a manager. The second time it was a shift lead. So when I went there and stuff and explained to her and stuff, she explained the question I asked her. I'll tell you the question a little bit later. Okay. I also was showing the phone just because she wasn't there today. I talked to the manager so she could get up to speed too. Now the DoorDash driver was in there, and he was curious. So he was what's going on. So I was explaining to him, and I showed him on my phone that screenshot that you saw earlier in the thumbnail that D-Web put up. He said he didn't get that. I said, oh, okay. He didn't get it. He's in my market now, and this is his order. But he didn't get that screen. He didn't get that message on his phone. So since he didn't get a message, but I did, there's a question there that's gonna be, which I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna try to bump into some people, hopefully at this restaurant, and see if they got that message too. It could be something DoorDash did for certain drivers to get updates, individual updates, like D-Web was saying in the past on some of the videos. You know, that's one of the updates. Sometimes, depends on your stats and stuff, you'll get an individual update because you'll be like, I would call like, a beta tester. So they'll test it out on their best drivers first to see how it reacts, and then they'll give it to everybody else in the market. So I was beta testing that. He wasn't. So he didn't see that. So he's not gonna ask. That's why I also say to keep that screen up so then you can get that appointment, because then they'll know to weigh that bag in front of you or bags. Because they'll just hand it to you if you don't say nothing. Then they might ask you. Because the lady said, "Well, we gotta see the phone." That's why I said don't do that screen off. Because that lady that I was talking to yesterday said that we have to see your phone because we don't have to weigh all of them. Also, they said that right now they're only doing with DoorDash. Now they have the other two third-party apps there, Uber Eats and Grubhub, but they don't have to weigh anything. They just do normal routine. So now the question I asked, and I forgot to ask on Saturday, this past Saturday, that I asked yesterday, that's how I have to go back, is what would happen if you have more than what the scale was saying? Like 5 pounds? I'll go back to the number 5 pounds. Say you have 6 pounds. What do they do? Well, the scale will say that it's over the weight. They're gonna ask them why. They got a drop down box and they'll put it in. And from the drop down box, they'll put in why, and it's gonna be recorded. And then they said that after it's being recorded, it'll go green, and then they just go in there and dispatch the order out. Give you the order and stuff like that, you know. So on that scale, it's gonna make, to me, by doing that, it's gonna make the restaurant be more mindful of how much portion they put in, because you see, if they keep on putting in a pound more and a pound more extra, that's losing their money because they're giving extra stuff out. You can't charge the customer that. So they're gonna have to be mindset. So they're gonna have to like take more time. That's why they have to have training on the tablet, because that tablet is calibrated. They're also gonna have to get it serviced here and there to make sure it stays calibrated. If it drops, that scale not supposed to be used until it's recalibrated to make sure it works. So either everybody has like an in-house maintenance team, you know. They could train the in-house maintenance team for, you know, what I mean in-house is they have their own maintenance staff that go around all these restaurants. Wendy's, McDonald's have it, and others has it, and they fix different equipment there, or maintain their equipment there. But if they haven't used that type of tablet and a scale, they will have to get trained on that to make sure they do it right, and or the restaurant's going to have to hire an outside contractor to maintain that scale at the same time. So it's going to be a little bit different once this gets to a higher screen. I said they had it for almost 2 months. They had a month in training, and then now they are putting it out there. So now they have to see how it is, see how the orders is. Like I said, they don't do all of them. Uber Eats and Grubhub, they don't have to scale anything. And then so far, every DoorDash driver don't have that screenshot for the instruction. So that'll probably save them too. So I'm gonna just monitor it and see what comes up. And then, you know, if I see some more stuff, we'll do another video on it. But you know, that's the update on the Wendy's. So if anybody have any questions or any comments on that, you can, you know, put it in the comment section. I mean, in the chat, on the comment section. If you're doing a replay, I'll look at the replay in a few days. You know, like I'll look at it today, tomorrow, the next day, to try to answer any questions you guys might have on it. You know, to see if there's any comments, because since, you know, I'm the one that's doing, you know, looking out for it to see. So I'll try to answer what questions I can truthfully and to my ability. Some things I won't know, like I don't know the rates on the food. I won't know how exactly what kind of you know, contract that they have with DoorDash and the corporate office of Wendy's. I won't know that either. You know, they ain't gonna tell me that, because you see, since we don't have to worry about a scale and stuff, they're not gonna really tell us drivers that unless you really know them. They might, but I'm most likely not gonna even ask those questions, because it's not really, you know, irrelevant to what we need to know. That's something between corporate and Wendy's. So some things I won't ask them, because, you know, it's a need to know basis, and we don't really need to know that. We need to know how it affects us. We're gonna go through that here to see what will affect us. Let me turn the screen around. Okay, cool. All right. So we will go through to see what will affect us. You know, today, a little bit of stuff that will affect us, because I hit some key points that will probably affect us, you know, as delivery drivers, you know. So, okay, D-Web, you want to add some stuff on there, or you want me to still continue? Okay, you're muted. You're muted.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
There you go.
I hope that you got a chance to digest and consume this content. You know, he did a lot of work, a lot of hard work. This is what content creators do that has information channels. We go behind the scenes and we talk to the resources we need to talk to. You know, sometimes you will be successful, sometimes you won't be successful. He done a great job as far as going behind the scenes, finding out this information for us. You know, sometimes you can get that interview with that general manager or get that interview with the owner if it's a mom and pop shop, to where they'll say, yeah, I'll do an interview with you, to go into greater detail where they can hear it from our voice. At least he got the business relationship enough to get this information out so far. He talked about, you know, what we wanted to address that we addressed last week. And the question was, will this alleviate the customer complaints about missing items, stolen food, and size portions from these orders, which shrinkflation taking place in this era, more so now, is relevant than it was before the pandemic. These are things to consider. And will this cause drivers to unassign these orders because they know they go on the Wendy's and they know that the orders got to be weighed? It's just a little extra step. You know, it ensures that drivers don't get deactivated for one. It's going to reduce the problem of customers complaining about they're not getting their food or they get missing items. We do have some dishonest drivers out here. We do have some dishonest customers, and we do have some dishonest merchants all across the board. But we also got honest people that tries to do it the right way as well. Sometimes the restaurant can be ambushed with an avalanche of orders all of a sudden. You got 40 online orders coming in from all three platforms, right? So it's coming from all three of these platforms. And then you got DoorDash drivers coming in here, got to get their food weighed. Plus, it may be a longer wait time because certain restaurants are slow. I can use an example of Chili's right there on Poplar. You're going to at least wait 35 to 45 to an hour on your order, period. And it'd be swamped with a lot of drivers, and you got just a little bit of a 4x6 space to stand there and trying to wait on orders. You got steady people coming in, drivers coming in. It's real chaotic, right? And usually when it's that much saturation in the restaurant during those busier times, people will take shortcuts. You know, I'm going to use an example. I got a picture. I don't know if I have it on here. The employee gave me a cup. You know, I thought that's how the cup was made. You know, you grabbing it real fast, you moving, right? Until I realized when I got in the car, it was a double cup. I'm hoping that I can find that footage right now. I did do some screenshots of it, photograph, not screenshot, cause it actually happened to me. It may be on this device. If it's on that device, I'm not going to be able to show you. I may have to show it in the next video, put it in a screenshot. Here it is. Here it is. This is an example. I'm pulling the cup. I'm gonna put this on solo so people can see it better. All right. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. See that? Turn it that way. You see that cup there?
Can you move it back a little? Move it back a little. Yeah, because now it's there you go.
All right. You see, I'm taking the cup out of another cup. You see, there's liquid at the bottom of the other cup. This is a no-no, ladies and gentlemen. I went ahead and took the cup back to them. They was too busy to even make a cup, so I let the customer know that they didn't have a drink. To get in touch with Grubhub and let them know that you didn't receive your drink. I was already halfway there. I'm not going to give a cup like that to my customer. And if I had been paying attention before I received that cup, I would have never taken that cup. The cup was punctured. It was punctured. They was too lazy, too trifling to just go ahead and get another drink cup and just put another drink in there and gave the package properly. These are the things I was talking about in the last live stream Hulk and I was in. You got the package. You got the total package there. You got to make sure that total package is sealed. If it's not sealed, food contamination, you see, can happen to that food. I wasn't going to give that customer that drink. An open drink that's already been contaminated. Then it's leaking out the cup into another cup. I'm going to show another picture as well to where when I opened the top to that cup, let me pull it back so you can see it.
Mm-hmm. There you go, focus.
Okay, it was a full drink. Half of that drink was in the other cup and the cup sitting inside the drink. That's unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. When I saw that, I went in there and told them about it and I threw it away. You know, I'm not going to give a customer a cup like that. And this is how it looked when I first got it. You see, that's unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. That is unacceptable. That's the reason why I said everybody not honest. You have some people, all they care about is just making that money, right? Making that money. Let me go ahead and take the solo screen down so you can see both of us. Now we're back now. This is very important. It's very imperative that we take care of food, people. This is how people get sick. This is how people get foodborne illnesses. This is how people get food poisoning because somebody didn't take the necessary steps to take care of that person's food as it's being prepared in the kitchen. Then when it's given to the driver, poor packaging. Situation like that, their drivers don't accept that. Don't accept that. You know, and if it happened to a factor where you can't get the full package, hand it back to them, get in touch with your platform service, let them know what the situation is, show screenshots of the situation so you won't let anybody lie on you, and move on and unassign that order and go get another order is the best suggestion on that. And I had a second question that I wanted to ask was, will this eliminate shrink inflation in these restaurants? Huck, do you think it will eliminate shrink inflation, or will it just reduce it some, or will it cause a chaotic problem because this is a new update among drivers and drivers will have a problem with it? I'm going to let him go ahead and ask that question. Then I'm going to show a video about all of this confusion that I'm asking him about. Go ahead. Go ahead, Huck.
Well, it's mostly for the restaurant with this smart scale. It's geared to the restaurant, Wendy's. And any restaurants like Wendy's is doing it. It's geared to them because it starts from the restaurant.
Right.
So the shrinkage, if the restaurant does this job like it's supposed to do, the shrinkage won't be there from the restaurant. So then, where else will the shrinkage be? The driver to the customer. That's the only other part the shrinkage could be at. Like I was saying earlier, if you're an honest thief, means you ain't gonna do nothing. When that thing is sealed and everything, because it's got to be in a total package in the bag and whatever bag or how they package it, it's got to be in that before they weigh it. When they hand it to you, when they gave it the okay, said yes, this is good. If they did their job right, and you do your job right, there's no shrinkage. Now the thing is the restaurant's gonna be swamped with stuff. They're gonna it's fall time coming. Fall time football.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have all these restaurants like Wendy's, and then they go to these pizza places and do that too, or whatever, you know, and all these places that do deal with like, you know, fast, quick food is going to be slowing down because now they got to do portions and stuff, and it comes from the restaurant because if you do lesser portions, and you got to weigh it when it's cooked, not before it's cooked. You gotta wait when it's cooked. Once it's cooked, that's where you might have that wait time more. Because you see, depends on what orders come in that's gotta be weighed. Every DoorDash order that goes to that Wendy's gotta be weighed. So that's right there is gonna take time because they gotta really properly set that food on that scale because that scale is gonna tell them. If they got it properly, set up and everything and maintained, the scale's gonna send it to their corporate office and DoorDash. So they gotta really be diligent when they put that food together, and then on a certain time, still do every other customer. Now with the so with the shrinkage thing, it's gonna be a little chaos until everybody gets used to it, and I think some people. I just saying I'm thinking because I know some of my restaurants here. I see them when they be skimping, and I see them just skimping. They probably just gonna skimp anyway. Just get the food out. We ain't gonna know because we can't see the scale from where I showed that scale. I can't see it. I can see it, but I can't see the numbers. When you had that close up, I didn't go behind the counter. The manager that was good. I got her the phone, and she went and took a good picture because I asked her to do it, and she took the picture so she could have the scale in that. So when they do that, you ain't gonna see it. You ain't gonna even really hear the ding. That's why I said it's also a green arrow because you might not hear the ding on that noise and everything, and some of these restaurants have the music on, so you ain't gonna hear that. Taco Bell is one of the famous ones that have music on too, and it's loud. So the shrinkage depends on the personality of the workers. It could slow it down, but then it might be frustrating because, like I said, I know some of these restaurants they are lazy, and they will just throw it in there and whatever.
That's the thing. That's the thing right there.
So
being lazy, don't care, especially when it's an hour before closing time. You got these teenagers in there. They just handling food any kind of way with bad attitude, bad personality, right? Some of them have younger managers that be on their shift or on the weekend, right? So with this shrinkflation that's going on, you got people that don't care how your food is as they packaging it. They just getting it out the way, saying, well, I can't wait till my shift in, and it's an hour before we get ready to close. We're going to lock the doors, right? The line is a mile long. By the time they get to closing time, we're going to shut the lights off. Don't come to the intercom. Let folks know we close. I know a lot of drivers can relate to these experiences. When these things happen, we can reach out to their corporate office. All right. We can reach out to social media. Right. We can do videos, tag these corporations. Right. Because we also consumers as well that order for places like this, just like the other night, that KFC situation I talked about in the last video. Right. So I'm getting ready to play this video. We're going to play this video, and I want you to hear what this content creator said about this when they did this video. When you hear her, a lot of people are going to be able to relate to what she's saying, but I'm not going to give all of the sauce on my reaction on what I'm getting ready to say. But she seemed like she's a writer. The way she talked, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Let me go ahead and get ready to get this ready. Make sure there's no ads on there. And if it is, I'm gonna have it turned down. And then when we play it, then I'm also gonna go ahead and go solo on this one as well. Let me go solo right quick. And we're gonna share this information with you because it have a lot to do with the topic today. And those viewers need to know what's going on. And let me go ahead and readjust this as well. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and let it play. hit this, turn up the volume.
Today, very local, after a scheduled delivery. And I picked up a Wendy's order. And before the employee handed me my food, the food I was about to deliver, they placed the food on a scale, and this is called a smart scale. It's weighing everything going out. The weight of the cup, the drink, the paper bag, the straw, the sauces inside, the size of the fries, whether they're chicken nuggets or not, how many chicken nuggets, whatever it is. Every item on their menu has been weighed. This is a public post on Reddit. I just spent 5 minutes and did a search because I pick up from Wendy's often, and today was the first day I ever saw a fast food restaurant use a scale to weigh the products I'm about to deliver, the items I'm about to deliver, before they hand me the drinks in the bag. In this post, it says, I was just at Wendy's and I seen her put the meal and drinks on a scale. I thought I was bugging, so I asked if she just weighed it. She said yes, and showed me a scale attached to the Doordash iPad that weighs the food. Wow. Now, I completed an Uber Eats order today, and they weighed the food before they handed it to me. So now they added another step.
All right, I'm getting ready to stop right there, and I'm getting ready to go back dual screen, and I want to ask Huck about what he just heard just then. All right, Huck Smash. Notice as she was saying in her presentation in this video, and this lady, her name is Home Base Income 101, and she talks about, making money at home and all of this. And you notice how she talks. She talked like a writer as she's talking, as she was doing a script, right? So she said that Uber Eats drivers are also have to have their food weighed as well on the DoorDash scale. Now, I would like for you to elaborate on that information for us right now. Will this be the future of how fast food restaurant industries will be doing their business from here on out?
Okay. Like I was saying, that Wendy's, she hit it on the head. She said everything I said. So that's a content creator, whoever she is. That content creator said exactly what I said, basically in her own words. The Uber Eats thing. What I said was they don't have to do Uber Eats or Grubhub now. They just had to do DoorDash. See, it's another market. She's in a different market than I am. That's one. So they are implementing other stuff in her market. They just started in my market. DoorDash is doing DoorDash. She has Uber Eats and Grubhub, but the manager there said they don't have to wait for Uber Eats and Grubhub. That don't mean, she did not say they won't do it in the future. I didn't ask that question either, due to the fact at the time it was just, she answered the question that I needed to know. DoorDash was doing the scale thing. Okay, she did say about the other two platform that she do have at that establishment, but she did say she don't have to do it at that time. She didn't say that she won't do it. She just said she don't have to do it at this time now. So, with that said, what that lady said there, whatever market she's in is getting advanced more than my market. But my market seems like things are coming around in my market too, crazy stuff. So that might be her next thing. She is a partner. She could be partners with Uber Eats and Grubhub as well. Because she said the same restaurant I said, Wendy's.
Right.
So right there, we know Wendy's is the one that's doing these scales. Because another market is doing the same thing my market's doing with the scale, smart scale. So they're implementing in certain markets. They picked Columbia, South Carolina, and they picked whatever area she was.
Right.
They picked her area because you said you saw her, you found her later on, so she did something before I even said something about it. So she was first before me. So I found out about it last week.
Each market, I think, will have a different experience, but by it being a DoorDash scale, I have some questions about it because it's from a DoorDash corporation. It don't make any sense to me that a DoorDash corporation will allow another competition that they are competing against use their equipment.
Well,
so that's my take on it, because she did say it was a DoorDash scale, right? My reaction on it is she talks like a writer. Listen how she talks. She talks like a writer. Sometimes writers will ask more, and they will put more to their story. TFT said, "Great work, Huck. Great video." Yes, he did a great video. Great content. You know, he went and did the investigation. But the reason why I brought her up, because I had some questions about some of the things being said. I'm not saying that her story is not true, but sometimes we exaggerate when we are a good storyteller. You know what I'm saying? She's a good storyteller, a great storyteller. This is not to pour sauce all on her either. You know, there will be coming out with this scale probably for each and different platforms. As I said in the last video, people thought I was making it up. Partners, they're going to start with these partner restaurants first. Well, D-Red, how did you know that? Last year, when I was showing a publication from DoorDash, those restaurants that I was talking about on my show, I even presented in the DoorDash article in that publication, their journal, that these were restaurant partners with DoorDash. I also was in a Main Street conference 3 years ago, and this was mentioned about a smart scale. It went in one ear, out the other, because I was like, oh man, that'll never happen. Here it is today. So sometimes when we get information, you have to know where to go get your resources from. And that's what Hulk did. He said, I'm not going to just sit here and just assume anything. I'm going to go and do my own case study. I'm going to investigate for the right information so I can provide that right information to you. And that's what he did. So when I showed her video, people automatically think, oh, he's slamming Huck. No, I'm not. I'm showing what her experience was 3 months ago, which was in May, and his experience he had in his market. He talked about earlier about the individual updates. Okay, one market is going to be target for certain circumstances and situations of customer complaints, driver complaints, and merchant complaints in that market, which may be different than Hulk's market, which may be different than my market. That experience that customers having, we all can relate to. We got to start learning how, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about topics and talking about we having a conversation, and a conversation turns into a debate. That's where it stirs left at. When people misunderstanding what you're saying, or they getting ready to assume what you're saying, or they getting ready to add some dirt on what you're saying. Feel what I'm saying? That's not a conversation. A conversation is two people talking to each other. You know, I got my viewpoint on this. He got his viewpoint on that, right? Conversations don't supposed to turn into a heated debate. This is where a lot of channels are messing up today. Saying we're going to start on a conversation, let's get on these panels, and it turns into a dramatic debate. Everybody shooting each other in the foot. So I got to check that right now so someone won't be running and saying, you see, he tried to make him look bad on TV. No. I asked him to elaborate on what I had a question on. Then I put my reaction to what I feel, the way I feel, reason why I put it, presented to him. And I done did a thorough investigation on our topic. Sometimes as content creators, we take shortcuts in the steps we need to make to put out the right information sometimes. We all do it. So Huck told everybody, I'm going to do a thorough research, thorough case study. We're going to give that man a applaud, ladies and gentlemen, because he done a great job, fantastic job. And he presented great information on his show. So I don't need to have anybody try to put bad sauce on this day's show saying that his work was in vain. No, it's not in vain. But I can show another perspective of another content creator's experience, and we can talk about that. And she said a lot of the things he did say. You know, then she said about Uber Eats, because she do Uber Eats and all of that. Y'all had to go watch the show if you want more of that information, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But then they got to asking questions, the questions that start rumors from Reddit group, Facebook groups, all of this. Rumors spreading all wild. Man, I heard that, man, drivers going to have a scale. I heard that they going to up the surcharges. We don't know what's actually going to go on behind all of this, but we know that the drivers do not have to have the scale. I mentioned that in the last video. I'm going to tell you why. How did I know that it was going to be tied into a tablet? I looked at the artwork of that screenshot picture that Hulk sent. If you looked at the artwork, it shows this, and that scale looks exactly like in that artwork. It's white and red. It's tied into the tablet, right? Now we're going to talk about calibration. He mentioned calibrations, ladies and gentlemen. This is a key point, and I thank you, Hook, for bringing it up. Calibration. Now, since we talking about everybody don't run the ship the same, you know, everybody just, I'm just going to do my job mediocre. Will these scales have different merchandise on it, boxes on it, keys on it, plates on it, whatever? Will they start using it as a storage space? Not saying it will, but it's a possibility. And if that happens, you got to have it recalibrated. Reason why I talk about calibration, I used to do heat and air. You know, was a lab technician doing refrigeration and everything. When you got to put it in there by the ounces with refrigerator versus by the ton in a jug in a residential home or commercial buildings and all of that, you got to have it measured accurately. And we use a scale for that when you weigh ounces. So when they weigh food, ounces and pounds, you know, it's got to have the presettings calibrated correctly. Now, Hook brought up a good thing in our conversation. I'm going to let him bring it up again here as well so the viewers will also know. He asked the question about calibration. Who's going to do these calibrations, and are they certified? Go ahead, Hook.
Okay, well, when you have like calibration stuff, you know, like you go out there, you see those big massive cranes, right? They gotta be calibrated too. You know, you go to a mall, they got the little stair thing, you know,
Right.
the escalator. They gotta be calibrated too because they have weight and stuff. They gotta be calibrated. Elevators gotta be calibrated because of the weight. Anything that has something to do with weight control and stuff like that, got to be calibrated. Now, you can't just have any maintenance person go out there and calibrate it. They got to have training, special licenses and stuff like that, because it could, you know, if it's not calibrated right, it could hurt people or hurt their equipment. You know, as I said, people first, then the equipment, because people mean more than the equipment.
Right.
Okay. The same way with food, you know, even though, you know, the scale uncalibrated, it still could. You can give so much food, it's not going to really hurt the person individually on that part, but it'll hurt the store because the store is giving out more food. They're thinking they're doing the right amount, but it's not. It's actually more when somebody actually went in there and calibrate the scale.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're gonna have a shrinkage, and it's gonna show. It's like, why am I having this big shrinkage? You know, so it's gonna hurt the restaurant. But going back to the calibration, you gotta like I was saying, their maintenance staff. I'm not gonna say they're not certified for that. They might be certified for scales and stuff. I'm not gonna say they're not. But if their maintenance staff that Wendy's have isn't, they gotta either two things: either get them certified in that, or have an outside contractor do it.
That's right. And reason why we said this because he got expertise about calibration. The other day we talked about my expertise using a micrometer, right, in the lab technician. So Huck, with your expertise, would you share with our audience why you able to share and give this information to our viewers from that level?
Okay. He's talking about micrometers. Okay,
No,
micrometers.
not micrometers. Back to calibration. I was talking about micrometers on my end, but you can go ahead and address micrometers as well.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, look, to calibrate something, what I do heating and air also. So I use the scale as well.
Right.
I do. I'm a AC and all tech. That means air conditioning and refrigeration. So I do both. So refrigeration has different type of freons than the air conditioning unit does.
Right.
So yeah. So when you actually putting this freon in, like you were saying, when you put this freon in, you gotta have a scale to scale it in. When you actually taking freon out, you gotta have a scale to scale it out too, because you gotta annotate that down in your book or whatever, computer, whatever, because of environmental protection agency, EPA.
Right.
You know, you also got the EPA thing. So what he was talking about, we was into like micrometers yesterday. We went into micrometers. I also deal with like motors and stuff. Now, if you have a motor that spins, right? Like so. So you have like bearings and stuff. You have like forward bearings and aft motor. That's what we use at those precise instrument tools there. So I hope that answered your question. I don't know if it did, but I hope it did a little bit there.
It
On that
did,
talk.
brother. It did,
Okay.
because you broke it down, showing them how the importance of that scale needs to be calibrated.
Right.
That's the reason why I wanted them to break it down, because you broke it down like a machinist mate that deals with machines and boilers and all of that, right? Okay, so that's the reason why you have your expertise on, yes, it's going to have to be calibrated, and will it be calibrated periodically? Monthly checks, semi-annually checks, right? And yearly checks. You see what I'm saying? So those things have to take place. They have to have a qualified facility maintenance technician or an outside service technician that's equipped to, do the calibrations to those machines. I know it's a little bit advanced for our viewers, but it's giving you a general idea about how the scale will work. It will be the fast food technology that will change the industry for fast food, trying to solve these problems of customer complaints. Drivers getting deactivated, and even merchants got to close their doors, especially when dealing with food being stolen. Okay, there's a lot of in-house theft that goes on in these restaurants, putting too much portion on food to their friends and family members and stuff like that. Then they had to wind up putting less food on other consumers' orders, takeout orders, and delivery orders that you deliver on the platform, right? So these are things that we bring in behind the scenes that now you can be aware of and something to think about when you are a consumer, merchant, and driver. So that was the meaning of the show today. Hulk, you did a great job, man. You did a marvelous job. You did a lot of your homework. You did your research. You did your case study, and you done a job well done. As we said in the military, you done a job well done.
Mm-hmm. Nobody said anything in the chat, so I was looking.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What TLC did, he gave you,
I answered him.
yeah, he gave you,
Mm-hmm.
he gave you your props and everything.
Yeah.
And I knew you, and I know you could do what you did today. That's the reason why people didn't see me as much on the show, because this was his investigation, his case study, his content. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? And he did a marvelous job. Now, he did a marvelous job giving us the weather report. Let's be mindful, people that is in this area where the storm is coming in your direction or whatever. You know, stay glued to the tube. You know, and get the latest updates about what's going on in your area under these weather conditions. And drivers, let's be mindful on how we do our business out here when we picking up and dropping off deliveries to our clients. Merchants, now you got to step your game up. Pandemic is over, and we got to have the best staff members that we can have. We know that it's like a revolving door. They're going in, they're going out. It's hard to keep up, shorthanded, and all of this. We understand that, and sometimes you can be overwhelmed. We all make mistakes. You know, we're not pointing fingers at anybody, but these are the things that does happen. And then we got shrinkflation, the where certain restaurants purposely taking out a portion of the protein and trading it out with another item on the menu, or increase the item of another menu, like beans are still a meat. Less meat, more beans, same weight. See, those things are going on too. It's been going on before the pandemic and before it's being exposed now. You see, so this was a great show. I'm having a little internet interference with the Wi-Fi and stuff, reason why you see the screen blinking and everything. Hope done a marvelous job as a content creator. Everyone saw that today. I'm quite sure
he will be. Answer a question here you got here. Question 6.
Go ahead, brother.
You said here, do you think drivers will unassign these orders? There's a possibility, because you see, if it's going to be an extra step in waiting and stuff, a lot of drivers don't want to wait long, period. So this extra step and stuff waiting is going to probably be longer, because you see, they got to weigh the food in front of you, just like I was saying, just like that young lady was saying on her video, and they gave it to you. If the restaurant's slam packed, you know, and things like that, they're gonna get to it when they get to it, because they got their way of pushing out orders. Right. You know, each restaurant has their way of what's priority and what's not as priority.
Right.
So we gotta understand that too. What's priority and what's not priority to them.
Right. Because it's their restaurant, it's their establishment.
So they're gonna have how they are. So that's the thing. You gotta figure out these restaurants and ask them, if you can, okay, how you do your priority when it gets to, when it's real busy or peak time or whatever the case may be. You know, what's your priority and stuff? That's a question you can ask some of these restaurants. You know,
right.
Maybe they have time to answer that. How do you do it? You know. So that's something. So I would think they would probably understand it, because they always understand now. Because a lot of them don't want to wait so long. So that might be an extra step. You know, they have to wait till them to get to it, because it depends on how much the priority is.
Right.
So,
My
that's
thing
why.
is,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh no,
My
I'm done.
thing is, how will it affect the catering business? You know, that uses these platforms like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. How will it affect them? Because a lot of these orders that say catering orders are nothing but large family orders, combo meals and stuff like that. How would that reflect on that during the
You know,
holidays?
that's a good
Go ahead.
question. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good question that's going to be in my mind now. Catering orders. They do have catering orders that Wendy said in there. So, will they have to weigh all that catering order, or they just have to just do catering orders separate? That's a good question. The special orders
Mm-hmm.
have to be weighed, or is it just on single family orders, maybe, non-large orders? So,
Right.
if it's just regular orders that got to be weighed, that's a good question I didn't ask, but you just brought it up. I will ask that when I get over there. I'm not saying today. I'll be over there sometime this month,
Okay.
and I'll ask that question. Do they have special orders, or do they have all orders, or all orders got to be weighed no matter what, or just certain orders got to be weighed on the DoorDash platform? Because you see, that way it'll cover your question. Because then that way, if it's only like that order that I showed you, things like that, or what that lady said, those are just regular orders, not catering orders.
Right.
So that's a different type of order. It's a different category.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about large orders. That's a different category
Right.
than regular order. So that's a good question that you got for me, and I will do it sometime this month.
And I
Uh,
will. And I will
I will
also
ask her.
do my footwork as well.
Yeah.
It's new in our area. If we haven't, I hadn't heard any drivers talking about it. You know, and I will talk to restaurant operators. I talked about three of them. They said we
Mhm.
never heard of it, and I
Mhm.
showed them our video,
Mhm.
portions of it, and showed that other video portions of it.
Mhm.
You know, we don't want to have people in a panic
Mhm.
mode with this rumors and gossip session. This is
Mhm.
not what this show is about. That's the reason why I had to nip that gossip that was going to happen today in the show. I had to nip it, even though it wasn't coming from him. But other people's behind the scenes watching and lurking, that was that message for them. Not for the man that gave you his props. TFT gave you your props. I still got it up there. Great work, great video. It
Mhm.
definitely was great work. It definitely was great video from a content creator. And I'm just so happy and elated on how you handled it from your networking expertise, as doing content. And so today's show was a good show. We brought up questions so we could, kind of snuff out the gossip and rumor. Well, he said this, just like when you were in school. The teacher tell this student something. By the time it get to the last student, the whole story done been changed. So that's what we trying to avoid. A lot of this gossip and rumors and stuff because of our opinion and assumptions on these different Facebook groups, Reddit groups. And she was beginning to go off into what the Reddit groups was talking about. But you can check her channel out, and everything. She did a marvelous job in her content as well. But she was only voicing what everybody else was already saying. The questions that were being asked. You see, I didn't go too far into it because I did not want people's opinions to go left against this channel. But they can go look her up, home base, income 101. And this is how we think, and some people, we go to the extreme on assumptions and assuming and opinions and not facts. That's what you did when you did this case study. You went and said, I'm going to get the facts. Like an investigative journalist, I'm going to get the facts to cover the story with facts and proof. news articles, and all of this. This is where I'm getting my resources and information. Plus, I did my homework, field work. I got out of them streets and got that answer for myself that I figured I couldn't get the answer to the question unless I did it myself. And I appreciate you for that, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to say to the viewers or anything else you want to address on this very, very, very important topic, which others content creators will be talking about it. If it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever social media platform, people are going to start talking about this and have started talking about it in May.
The only thing I say about this topic is, just keep your eyes and stuff open. If you hear something, you could take it in, but then do a little bit of research to see. You're not like, you just want to make sure. You don't want to think something else. On the topic. Like we were saying about earlier. Some people market. That's why I was reiterating too.
Right.
Before you even put that video out about individual updates, because I was doing, somebody in my market didn't get that update and I did. So you see, that's something else too that I'm gonna be. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see if I can bump into more people in my market at that Wendy's all this period to see if they heard about it too.
Got
Because
a question for you.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, back to you said that you had received that update, but another driver hadn't received that update. My
That's
question is it being rolled out on an individual basis due to the driver's ratings on what tier system it is? That's something I'm gonna have to check into as well.
Well, you see, what I was saying is, like, a lot of updates. Before we noticed that, that's why I said it earlier, that they Doordash do like individual updates, depends on your stats, and they make you a beta tester for certain things, and some other people in the same market probably not get it yet because they see that you more of a better driver for them to represent Doordash or whatever platform you're on. So we're gonna give you this update, but we're not gonna give it to this person yet because we want to see how you react first. Because you'll probably get feedback on it. Be more honest about the feedback.
Right.
So you there, beta testers. We all beta testers. Everybody's a beta tester. But they do stuff. So that's what we were talking about, those individual updates. So that's probably why that gentleman didn't get it yet, or he didn't update his phone too. He might have got it, but he didn't update his phone too.
Right.
So it could be another possibility. See, if you don't update, see, I update my phone before I go to bed, and then I do it in the morning. If I forget to do it before I go to bed, I definitely do it in the morning before I start my day. I update my phone through the process to see what apps will be updated. I go to my Play Store, hit the thing, the update thing, and it comes up. If anything comes up, I update it. I make sure everything's updated. Then I do the steps to make sure I implement all the updates into my phone. And so sometimes you gotta do that too. You gotta look at it. So he probably didn't get it because he probably wasn't, in Doordash eyes wasn't a good driver like I was, or he didn't update his app. Okay, so that's another reason, But they do have individual updates here. So me saying that is we already proved that in the past that some people have individual. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask people, because I do certain restaurants, I see the same drivers, and I'm pretty much good with them too. So I can talk to them too, show them that screenshot, and see what they say too. I just need to know, how many people probably got this or not, and then that way we can come back with that too, to see. So that's another thing I'm gonna do, and also the question about, okay, is all the food or certain foods, in Wendy's, certain types, catering orders, do they all gotta be ordered? Because catering orders are huge freaking orders. How are they gonna weigh all that? That scale can't fit all that. So how are they gonna weigh all that? So that's a good question still. That scale's not that big. So I don't know how would they do it. They do it and then it adds and you just add more and it adds. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to ask them that too. So it's a good question that we need to know because if
Yes.
that has to be vague like all that too, then
What procedures, right? That they
what are the
going by.
procedures exactly?
Right.
So
Because a lot of catering orders come up missing too.
yeah,
Not all the items are missing
right,
and all of that. Especially on a lot of the deliver that orders
right,
I have done,
right,
deliver orders I done in the past. And people like, wait a minute, I paid for this, but they tell them this is what you get. And they said, what I'm paying for, you paying by the volume, which means there's a weight to this here. So it's more behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to understand. And we're going to try our best on both ends. And we may have a panel of a team in the future where we go in and we try to find out this most valuable information so we can have a better understanding how this business is work behind the counter. We ain't got to know every detail of how they keep their books, their operation costs, none of that. That's not in our jurisdiction. That's not in our pay grade. But information that'll help us make it better and make it a seamless delivery when we come in interacting with the merchants, as they are our clients as well, and we are their clients as well, and be able to make a situation smooth enough for them with a better understanding without having an attitude, so we can get it to the customer as fast as possible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still like I was saying, it's still gonna be more investigation I'm doing because as it's rolling out and stuff, I go to different Wendy's, so there's a few Wendy's I go to on basic daily when I do DoorDash. So I will ask them too. I will look for the scale just by looking and stuff. If I see the scale, I'm gonna ask them conversation and see what they say,
Right.
and things like that too. So it's still gonna be ongoing. So this is not the end of this conversation. We still gonna be working on it. Like we were saying earlier in the video, we're gonna still be working on it to bring more information to you guys, so then you guys know. So then when it gets to your market, at least you have an already understanding of what's going on instead of like, oh snap, what to do, this and that. You already have
I might have a visitor. Hold on. Hey, how you doing? Come here.
This information, if it's not in your market, when it do get into your market, at least that way you'll have an understanding of what's going on already. You'll be ahead of the game versus, being just starting
right here. Say hello to
to see
everybody.
it.
Right. Say hey, that's my grandbaby right there.
Hey.
All right.
So,
Papa, what the heck?
so that's what's good about these type of videos because it helps you in the long run. You don't have it in your market yet.
Yeah, that was my grandbaby. That was my grandbaby right there.
When it comes to your market, at least you'll have a heads up on something. Yeah, and that's why I like for all the whole community, because just because it's not in your market yet and it's in somebody else's market, and you're doing the same platform, it's going to eventually probably get to your market. So at least that way, if something's in somebody else's market but it's not in your market, at least ask that person stuff and get the knowledge and stuff from that person. And then if it comes in your market, say, oh yeah, this person said this, I already know what to do. That way you already ahead of the game versus your competition. They might not watch YouTube and watch the shows that, watch the channels we watch or whatever. They might just go on Reddit groups and all that stuff. And then some of that stuff I heard, is rumor stuff, but I'm not on a Reddit group. But we hear it from each other, and that's what's good about this community, because even though you're thinking they're helping, you are helping, because you see some things go in your market that's not by that market. And then when it comes to your market, you're like I said, you're ahead of the game versus your competition. So if you look at it that way, while they over there worried about how to do this and that, you already know the steps. So you already going through your phone, doing all the steps, getting your order and stuff, and getting out there. Boom, 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 boom. They still figuring out how to do it. Ask some questions. You already know. Get your stuff and go. Boom. So that's a good plus right there. and you beat that person, get it done, you get the order and get going, and you get another order right after that if you don't get
Right.
one on the way. So
Right.
I always look at something positive. You know,
Mhm.
that's why I always say I always try to see the positive things. There's always the negative, but I always try to see the positive things. You know,
First, yes,
instead,
positive first.
yeah, instead of always trying to feel okay, this person is market. Oh, that sucks. You know, it ain't in my market. I don't care, but it might come to your market. But if you just have an open mind sometimes to see, you'll say, okay, now what? You see, there's something new. I don't know. There's something new to me. It's a little off topic, but there's something new to me. It's about being on different markets. So I did a Walmart Spark order today.
Mhm.
I have to go to the customer house to pick up a return. So I don't know if people have that in the markets. If you do, put it as a little off the topic a little bit. But you see, that's my first one. So I have to go through all these steps. The scan a return item and all that stuff. And it didn't work. Try to scan the return item on a person's computer. It didn't work. I had to call driver support. They, because the number, it was all messed up. Couldn't read the number on the slip.
Right.
It's a long behind number, so I had to call driver support. I
Mhm.
called that. They had to read the number out to me as I punched it in. It was so many numbers and letters. It's crazy. And then it went to step. I actually send you the screenshots and stuff as soon as I make it up.
Right.
But the thing is, if anybody had that in their market, please put it in the chat or anything like that, because that's my first time I had to do a return. I had to go to the customer's house to pick up
Mhm.
the item that they wanted returned and then bring it back to Walmart. That's how it started. That's how the trip started. Went to the customer's house, picked up the item after did all that stuff, and then put it to Walmart, and then go into the slots where you pick up the items on the curbside. You go to the curbside and drop it off.
Right.
It's not like, okay, you returning something because they didn't have it, or they wasn't there. No, you actually went to pick it up. So if
Mhm.
anybody had that, please let me know, because that's my first one. And how was the experience? It's a little off the topic, but I just wanted to say that because we were just talking about different markets doing different things. So
It's
I
not
wanted
off
to
the
know that.
topic. It's
So that's
not.
why I wanted
It's
to know.
not off the topic. You good?
Yeah.
It's not off the topic because see, that was something important need to be said.
Right.
It's not. That wasn't
I
off the
didn't know
topic.
what that was. Never mind. Okay. So
All right.
that's it. And
We
then
get
the only
ready. We
other
get.
thing I had to do, my last final
Yes,
words
sir.
is let's just pray for all the people that is going to be going through this the storm that's coming up. In
Yes.
those areas that were affected earlier,
Yes.
keep our eyes on the tube, pray out for them, and please just everybody be safe out there. And have compassion for other people. As they might be going through something at this time. And that's all I
All
need
right.
to say about the weather thing. Just be careful.
Okay. One more.
I did have a
One,
safety video I was going to do later on.
one more thing before you.
Yeah,
You,
we'll
yeah,
do
you
one
know, you
later
kind
on.
of. I know you kind of rush for time. One more thing before you go, though.
Yeah.
By having this type of experience, would you share with the viewers how informative it was for you and how it motivated you with the treasures of information that you could share with our viewers today?
Well, it motivates me because I like to help people, and what knowledge I have, I like to share it. I don't feel like keeping stuff to me it's not gonna do me any good because somebody shares stuff with me. I don't know everything. I'm not gonna say I do. So if I
Me
know
either, bro.
something,
Hmm.
huh?
I
Yeah.
said me
So if
either.
I
I don't know everything either.
yes, sir. So if I
Hmm.
know something, where I feel like I can help people out, I want to
Yes,
share it.
sir.
I don't mind doing any kind of thing, going over other people's channels. A lot of people like me going on other people's channels and talk to them and stuff. I don't
Right.
mind doing all that because they know when I come over their channels, I just bring some good stuff and things like that. It inspires me to do these homeworks and stuff because it gives me knowledge as well
Right.
on things that's going on because this is what I do as a living. So it's people say, you just deliver pizzas or whatever. Okay, there's more to it. You know, people don't understand. These are people who don't do DoorDash or any of that we hearing. You know, these are like my relatives I'm talking about. So, you know, is bashing me doing deliveries on DoorDash or Uber Eats, whatever. But yet they don't understand the things that we go through. You know, they don't understand the dangers out here in these streets that we have on a daily. See, that's why this community is good like this, because we have another thing in common that people think. We have a community that we have to understand all the stuff that goes on, and we go through it every day, you know, and going through different things. There's a lot of similarities, even though you're in different markets. You got crime, you got people who's going to want to hurt you, you
Right.
know, you got weather, you got traffic, you got accidents, you know, things it might not be something you could control. You got a lot of things you can't control, but it's there.
That's true.
Those are in every market.
Yes.
Those things I just said was in every market. So we have a lot of similarities and stuff. We got a lot of the same restaurants. So that's something in every market. You know.
Great point. Great point
So
you just made.
there's things. So there's a lot of things a lot of similarities in a lot of these markets that we could go all across the United States. You know, that we have a lot in common. You know, we all driving some kind of vehicle or riding a bike or something. Some of us might be walking, racing, but most of us are driving a vehicle of some sort, whether it's an electric vehicle, hybrid vehicle, or gasoline vehicle. You know, a bicycle, hand pedal, whatever. You know, it's not a vehicle, but it's a bicycle, but it's still of transportation. You know, other than walking. You know, things like that. So that's in common too. You know, we got stuff like that. You know, it's just that, you know, like when we have a community, you know, this community, the gig community. Why is it called the gig community? It's called a gig community because we do these gig apps, and it's not the deliveries. We do other apps too. Some people do long business. You do AC&L. You know, you do Hayden and Air. You know, some people are mechanics. Some people do, you know, self defenses and stuff. You know, that's
Right.
something good.
Yep.
You know, self defense is really good. People do training, you know, safety trainings, different kind of lectures and stuff that they have. You know, people in finance, people you know, do resale stuff and things like that. So people have knowledge on businesses and stuff, how to start your own business and things like that. They got those people out here in this gig community.
Right.
On all the sides of this gig community. We got those people like that, you know. People in real estate. People have own businesses and stuff. You know,
That's right.
so that's a lot of stuff. And the list goes on and on. I can't name more of them. But everybody get the gist of what I'm saying. So in this gig community, we got a lot of talent, a lot of skill. I call it skill set.
It is.
Find out the person's skill set. Utilize that skill set. Utilize that skill set because that person has something to bring to the table if you let them. It doesn't matter how small you think it is. It's something more to the table that we didn't have before in this gig community.
Right.
So that's
Singers.
all. So
Singers,
you know, that's what,
musicians. Yes.
yeah, we got musicians singing. Yeah, we got all. See, I can't name them all, but it's a lot of gifted people in this community. It's a lot. It's a lot of gifted people in this community that have something to bring to the table.
Yes.
So, people came from other niches, other community that came into our community have gifts too.
Yes, sir.
They can bring something out too. You know, you got people who knows how to do thumbnails off the chain. Boom. Get your eyes. I want to see that video.
Yep.
I want to see that video. That video got a nice thumbnail and stuff, you know. So that's an eye catcher right there. It's the thumbnail. So you get that thumbnail, get people in there, and then you get your little title, all that other stuff, and blah blah blah. There you go. You know. So it depends. You know, a lot of people got all that stuff. See, That's something there to help people who are doing content creating too. They got skill sets in different graphic designs and all that stuff, making different logos and make them look real nice, I know some content creators, they have cool logos. That they had other logos, now they have other logos made from with other people help. They
Right.
look cool as complete. They look real cool. People doing a robot talking and stuff and singing. That's pretty cool to me.
It is.
And it's in this community. That people could actually have robots talking and a little robot band, singing songs and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Animation and stuff. That's a lot of work.
Sure is.
Knowledge that could go into your content.
Sure
that
is.
could go into your content. If you go out there and talk to those people, there's a lot of people who will help. That's what I gotta say, brother. I just want to say, everybody have a good day, and be mindful and just pray for everybody. Pray everybody who's in these areas that's going to be affected by Mother Nature, starting today, tomorrow, definitely,
Right.
and in aftermath. Just pray that everybody be safe, and we want to see them all back here in one piece.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Powerful message today from Hulk Smash. Powerful presentation video from Hulk Smash today. Ladies and gentlemen, he gave you the best on the table today coming from him. That's the reason why I took a seat back and let you listen, the viewers listen to what he had to bring in the table. We have these powerful conversations behind the scenes all the time. And now you get a chance to give the gist of the conversations that we have and how powerful and positive message that he put on the platform today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to go, but we got to go. He got things he got to do. I got things I got to do. But this was a very informative, motivational, informational awareness video, power pack. Those who hadn't seen it, came in late, make sure you go back and watch the replay. Get all the information that is there and everything, and digest and consume it. It's just a breath of fresh air having him on our channel, having him as a co-host. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we get ready to head out of here. We got to hit our theme music, and then hopefully you take care of yourself. Stay glued to the tube for your safety awareness and have the up-to-date news in your local area so you'll know what's going on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We enjoy taking the show to you. Take it to the streets. Show. Take care. Peace and love. See you in the next video.